Right, so we've got the respiratory system. So if you've just watched cardiovascular system, that was to do with the heart. Respiratory system is everything to do with our lungs and breathing. Okay, remember that, lungs and breathing for respiratory system. So, first thing we're going to look at then is the pathway of air through our respiratory system. As you can see, using your key booklets, the first place is through the nose and mouth. So that's where air enters the body here. No, it says air, not oxygen. Air contains oxygen and loads of other different gases. So air enters through here. Then, at the next stage, just at the back really, as soon as it's entering our body, it goes into the pharynx and the larynx, okay? Basically, the throat and the windpipe. So this area down here there, as you can see on the picture, nicely demonstrated. It then moves to the bronchi and bronchioles. Again, looking at your picture there, these the bronchi are the thicker parts, okay, of the windpipe as it's gone down. Bronchi are just around there, and then it breaks off into the bronchioles, which are a bit smaller. Still not the smallest part of the lungs, but it breaks off into them. Once it's in them, they then filters down into the alveoli, which are the smallest parts of the lungs. If you can see your key buckets and you're looking at them, you can't really see on my drawing here, they are the smallest part in the lungs, really, really small. You'd struggle to see them, okay, if you cut the lungs up. So when we're looking at the alveoli, okay, like I said, the dead small areas, we get this thing called diffusion happening. So that is a transfer of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we get the capillaries, they're obviously the area where diffusion happens with the alveoli, dead thin walls in them, and they basically, the blood that goes past the alveoli in the capillaries, the blood, when it comes in, is containing carbon dioxide. It passes the carbon dioxide into the capillary, into the alveoli, okay? So that can be breathed out. As it does that, as it gets rid of its carbon dioxide, the blood carries on round this little tunnel here, and basically, it then takes oxygen from the alveoli. So it kind of swaps. It swaps carbon dioxide and takes oxygen from the alveoli, which we know is obviously in the lungs, okay? So now what the blood has done, it's got rid of the waste product carbon dioxide because our body's then breathed it out, and it's taken in oxygen, the good stuff that our body has breathed in, and that blood then carries on its journey, as we know in the double circulatory system, to the body, and obviously feeds that into where we need it in our muscles and in our other things like the liver, the gut, and everything like that. Okay? So that's the alveoli. I always say like small pieces of cauliflower, something like that, if that's what you can imagine, but under a microscope. Obviously, they're very, very small. We're going to look at the process of breathing. Okay? So we've talked about what happens, but we need to know, what's involved when we actually do breathe. So first of all, we've got the intercostal muscles. These are the muscles that are in between our ribs. There's no picture of these, little diagram on the side there, but basically they're the little muscles between your ribs. When you breathe in, they expand so you can take more oxygen in and more air in. When you breathe out, they contract, pull the ribs in so that you can forcefully breathe out. Okay? Then we've got the diaphragm. These muscles contract downwards, increasing the room for oxygen. So your diaphragm, if I breathe in, your diaphragm comes down. As I breathe out, it comes up because I don't need any more air going in them lungs. Okay? So breathe in again, diaphragm goes bigger, then it comes down. So, on the expiration, the breathing out, it says here it's relaxing. Okay, that's how you need to remember it when it's coming up, it's relaxing. Finally, your lungs, well, they're muscles. Okay, your lungs, they're pulled outwards and the pressure in them decreases, allowing air in. So when I go like that, my lungs are pushed outwards to let air in. But then when I breathe out, they're made smaller and air is forced out of my lungs. Okay, that's the process of breathing. So let's have a look at what's involved here now then. When we measure this, we have to be able to measure it. We use three things. Like with the cardiovascular system, we had an equation. We've got an equation for this. Tidal volume, TV. Tidal volume is basically the volume of air breathed in or out per breath. Now link that to stroke volume with the heart. That was how hard your heart beats, how much blood is pumped per beat. This one is how much breath is taken in or out per breath. Okay? Then we've got your breathing rate, which is how often you're breathing, so how fast you're breathing, that is your breathing rate. And then we've got the minute ventilation, which is the overall of them two. So breathing rate times tidal volume. Breathing rate is like heart rate, isn't it, yeah? How many times you're breathing in and out. Them two, tidal volume, breathing rate, times together, give you your minute volume. The minute ventilation, sorry, it used to be volume, it's ventilation now. So, tidal volume is known as TV, breathing rate F, and minute ventilation VE. And that's how much in a minute. Remember that, okay? How much in a minute. As you can see, the equation's down at the bottom.